to keep this art thing refreshed and interesting, I want to sort of not leap about, but kind of go between the things we've done. So we did colour, we've done line work, and we did a bit of expression or drama in the stickman thing. But today I want to do continuous line part 2. Just to remind you, continuous line was a drawing technique where you move quickly around the drawing. Now this is an example, it's one of my drawings which is continuous line. And the reason I've chosen this one to show you is because it's a combination of a few things. There's some pen line and there's some charcoal kind of colouring or shading. Now the point about it, if you look in here, you can see with the face and the arms, there's lots of lines before. I remember when we did the hand, or when you looked at the hand, I said there were, there's almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines before you get the one that you choose. So the point with this drawing is it was drawn quite quickly. It was in a life drawing class, and went round and round and round, and eventually, once I had established what I thought was the correct, or the feeling of a figure, I added the charcoal to get some solidity. Now, the key points with this are it's with constant line, before we do some drawing, is it's free flowing, it's quick, it's relaxed, it gives an impression. Okay? Now, the two things I want you also to remember is it's not that detailed. If you look at the face, there's no detail there, and there's no real hard edges, although the shading gives the impression. So it's a technique where you can relax, be quick, be free, draw expressively, add an impression, but it's not hard-edged graphic drawing. That's why it lends itself to sketching and sometimes quite complicated figures. So I've reminded you of the continuous line process. What I really love about continuous line is it particularly lends itself to drawing things like plants, flowers and sort of organic shapes, because it's so free flowing, and sometimes with these objects there aren't so much obvious hard edges. So what I'd like to do here is look at one object, one flower, like a tulip from a vase of tulips, or a bunch of tulips. But if you haven't got tulip, because obviously can't just go out and buy them at the moment, see if you've got any flowers in the house or something in the garden. If you haven't got that, just see if you can see anything like that, because it's the same process. So what I'm going to do is do the one by itself quickly, kind of like full speed if you like, and then after that I'll pause, and then we'll put it together in the vase and we'll do a longer drawing. So I'm going to draw one tulip, and it'll be filmed as I draw it. I'll sort of say the odd thing to remind you of the process, but it shouldn't take too long. So, and I hope you can see this because it's a bit awkward. Remember, with continuous line, we just kind of get the basis of the object in quickly, loosely, and then we go over those shapes. Okay? I'm obviously not drawing the whole thing, I've sort of made it a bit bigger, so... Right, I'm just going to take a pen now and take out and just look at because the continuous line thing was to get the object in position. Now I'm just using this now to retrace those lines and pick out the ones which I think are right, to sort of capture that kind of tulipy feeling, or capture the tulip. So there's like the stem. To be honest, it's probably better with a thicker pen, but anyway. Okay, and what I can do there is just shade the stem, add a bit of rough shading. You can even just blur the pencil. Now, I'll stop there, and you kind of can see the process. Okay, so it's a very quick drawing of a tulip. Probably took about a minute and a half. I'm not sure. Key things: use loose lines, going around quickly, not worrying about the edges, not worrying about errors, and just drawing and relaxing. Right. So this was a drawing of one tulip done reasonably quickly in continuous line. Now, what I want to do next, if you have tulips, but otherwise, whatever you've got in front of you, whatever you can get access to, is put it back in a group, and then we're going to draw a larger still life, hopefully of flowers or something like that. You could use fruit, but or anything you've got access to, but something organic. Right. This will also be filmed because it'll take a bit longer as a time lapse. Right. The purpose of this was to try and get you to draw freely with this process called, as we keep saying, or keep repeating, sorry, continuous line. Now, I think you saw mine, I put it together, it was again quite quick, so it's no masterpiece, but I'm not asking for people to produce absolute masterpieces. I'm just getting you used to moving around, free flowing, going from back to front, sketching, and then building up layer of outlines of quite complex shapes, and then eventually picking out the ones you think emerge as the more correct lines, and then trying not to put them in too hard, maybe add a tiny bit of colour if you've got some, and basically enjoying this free-flowing drawing technique, because the more you practice this with things like this or other objects, as I said before, other objects around the house, 5-minute sketches, even of people sitting still or whatever, or just keep going, and you'll get this your hand and your brain and everything used to this kind of technique, which I think will then we can move on and on and on and progress into other drawing things. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this session. In the next session, I'd like to come back to doing the stickmen and progressing with that a bit more. So I'll say, as I said right at the beginning of this one, I'll kind of move between the things, so it keeps it fresh and keeps it moving. Please go away now and try things like this, and with a bit more time and experiment to see where you get to. And please feel free to like, comment, and share this page. Hopefully, if you like it. And most of the links, or the links should be below, so you can click on those.